If you're afraid of losing her, I've got bad news for you. You already lost her. Here's why. When you're scared to lose someone, your every action starts to prove that fear. You become more available, more predictable, more desperate. And a woman can feel it. Her attraction doesn't die overnight. It slowly bleeds out every time you show that she's your only option. If you want to turn it around, you need to flip the script. Make her feel that she's the one who could lose you. Because the truth is brutal. We only value what we think we might lose. Make her afraid to lose you. Are you afraid of losing that special girl? Bad news. You already lost her. Not because she's physically gone, but because the moment fear entered your heart, your actions started bending around it. You stopped being the man she was drawn to, and you started being the man who lives to avoid losing her. And women can feel that shift long before you say a word. In a perfect, ideal world, love would be constant. She'd see your loyalty and give you loyalty back. She'd value you simply because you're there, steady and true. That's the fantasy most men grow up believing. But the real world doesn't work like that. Attraction is not built on comfort, it's built on emotional movement. When she met you, you weren't afraid. You were a mystery she hadn't solved yet. You had your own life, your own rhythm, and she had to earn her way into it. That tension, that subtle uncertainty, is what pulled her in. But when fear takes over, the polarity flips. You start texting first every time. You cancel your plans to fit hers. You become more predictable, more available, more safe. And safe might sound good in theory, but to a woman's emotions, it often feels like the spark is dying. Here's the paradox. For her to truly value you, she must feel she could lose you. Not because you're playing cruel games or trying to hurt her, but because people naturally value what they believe is scarce. Think about it. When something is guaranteed, our mind stops fighting for it. But when it feels just out of reach, our desire explodes. This is why moments where she feels you slipping, where she realizes she's not your entire world, can reignite attraction. It triggers a deep, almost primal fear in her. What if he's not mine? What if someone else takes him? That's when she starts chasing, starts investing, starts seeing you again as the man she chose, not the man she can take for granted. And no, this doesn't mean ghosting her or acting cold for no reason. It means reclaiming the parts of yourself that existed before her, living your life with the same focus, purpose, and independence that made her want you in the first place. Because the brutal truth is this: if she feels she has all of you, no matter what she does, she'll stop valuing you. But the moment she feels she could lose you, she'll start remembering exactly why she wanted you. In the next step, I'll show you the exact moment to use this shift, the window where it's most effective, and how to do it without turning it into a cheap manipulation. The perfect timing. Most men make one of two mistakes with this. Either they try to act hard to get right from day one, or they wait until the relationship has completely collapsed. Both approaches fail. Why? Because timing is everything. You don't create distance when things are perfect. That's like walking away from the table when you're winning big. And you don't wait until the connection is dead, because then it's not strategy, it's desperation. The right moment exists in a very specific window, when her behavior shifts from steady warmth to unpredictable heat and cold. You know the signs. One day she's affectionate, leaning into you, texting first, talking about the future. The next day she's distant, distracted, and somehow too busy to see you. She laughs with you one night, then ignores your messages the next morning. It's not your imagination. She's not just having mood swings. What's happening here is calculated, even if she wouldn't consciously call it that. Women, especially those who've been through relationships before, instinctively create uncertainty to test your value. It's not always malicious, sometimes it's just a reflex. But the effect is the same. She wants to see how you respond when she pulls away. Think of it like this. A lioness doesn't test the strength of a mate when the herd is calm. She tests him when the ground shakes, when there's a threat nearby. That's when she learns if he's steady under pressure or if he crumbles. This hot and cold phase is her way of shaking the ground under your feet. And here's the catch. Most men fail this test. They sense the coldness, panic and rush to fix it by pouring in more attention, more reassurance, more gifts. All that does is confirm her suspicion that she's the prize and you're the one fighting to keep her. This is the exact moment, not earlier, not later, to flip the dynamic. When you notice her pulling away, you don't chase. You don't double your efforts to win her back. Instead, you lean back ever so slightly. You let her feel your absence. You create a quiet space where she has to wonder, wait, is he slipping away from me? Handled correctly, this doesn't create resentment. It creates tension. And tension, in the world of attraction, is oxygen. It keeps the fire alive. Because the truth is, if you pull away when she's warm, you look insecure. If you pull away when she's completely gone, it's useless. But if you do it when she's dancing between sweet and distant, that's when her own mind becomes your greatest ally. In the next part, we'll go deep into exactly what to do during this pullback. The specific behaviors that signal independence without looking like you're playing games. Tension makes desire. Most men think a woman's hot and cold behavior means she's confused. She's not. She knows exactly what she's doing, even if she wouldn't explain it in those words. Here's the truth. Most guys don't want to hear. A woman can be deeply attracted to you, even care about you, and still test you. It's not because she's cruel, and it's not because she's unstable. It's because attraction is built on tension, and tension requires movement. Predictability is comfortable, but comfort is the slow death of desire. When every conversation feels the same, every date follows the same pattern, every reaction from you is predictable. She stops feeling the spark. Men crave stability. We want the person we care about to be steady, reliable, safe. But for many women, emotional stability alone doesn't feed attraction. What keeps them hooked is the rhythm, the highs and lows, the chase and the capture, the push and the pull. Without those peaks and valleys, she doesn't feel connected in the same way. This is why she goes cold sometimes. It's not always about punishing you. It's often about creating a gap, a moment where she can see what you'll do when you're not getting her full warmth. Will you collapse? Will you cling? Will you start chasing her like every other man she's tested before? Because here's her unspoken truth. She's not just dating you, she's studying you. She's comparing you to the men in her past, to the ones who folded the moment she pulled away. And every time she senses that you'll break at the first sign of distance, she feels the pull of desire weaken. But if you remain centered, if you don't react with fear, if you keep your frame and maintain your life as if her mood swings barely register, that's when the game changes. Suddenly, you're not just another man seeking her approval. You're the one who's hard to shake, and that makes you rare. Because a woman doesn't consciously think, I want to test his masculinity today. It's instinct. Just as a fire needs oxygen to burn, attraction needs tension to stay alive. So when she goes cold, don't ask, why is she doing this to me? Instead, understand that she's checking the quality of the bond. She's seeing if you can handle the emotional currents without losing your footing, and when you pass that test, the attraction doesn't just return, it deepens. In the next part, we'll break down how to respond in a way that flips her test into desire without looking like you're playing games or trying too hard. The white zone. There's a dangerous mistake most men make when a woman turns cold. They assume it's over. They take her distance as a final verdict, not realizing there's an entire middle ground where attraction still lives. I call this the white zone. The white zone is the space where she acts distant, withdrawn, maybe even disinterested. But deep down, she still wants you. Her coldness isn't rejection. It's theater, a performance with a purpose. How do you recognize it? She still replies to your texts, but slower. She still agrees to see you, but makes you wait. She throws in subtle jabs, sarcastic comments, or forgetful behavior. She seems emotionally unavailable, yet she hasn't disappeared. That's the first clue. If she truly didn't want you, she'd remove herself completely. The fact that she's still present, even in a colder form, means you're inside her mental world. You're still relevant enough to provoke emotion. And in attraction, emotion, any emotion, is better than apathy. But why does she do it? Because unpredictability is intoxicating. She knows that when she flips the warmth off, it creates a subtle panic in your mind, a hunger to win her back. That hunger makes you more invested, more alert, more reactive. For many women, this hot and cold rhythm isn't malicious, it's instinct. It's how they maintain tension. The problem is, most men fail the white zone test because they react too soon, too strongly. They send longer texts. They try to overcompensate with gifts, compliments, or endless "are you okay" messages. In her mind, this confirms exactly what she suspected, that she's in full control. And the moment she knows she can control you, attraction begins to decay. The correct move? Stay calm. When she turns cold, your demeanor should remain as unshaken as a stone wall. Keep your routines, keep your social life, keep your sense of humor. Respond to her in the same composed tone you'd use if nothing was wrong. Because here's the paradox. When you don't react to her emotional theater, she loses the power of the act. The silence she expected to control you becomes the silence that draws her back in. She begins to wonder why you're not chasing, and that curiosity flips the power dynamic back in your favor. The white zone is not about manipulation, it's about discipline. It's the ability to recognize that her coldness isn't always a sign to retreat. Sometimes it's an invitation to stand your ground and let her feel the risk of losing you. If you can master the white zone, you stop being another man who dances to her emotional rhythm, and you become the one she can't quite figure out. And in the world of attraction, mystery is power. The gray zone effect. If the white zone is emotional theater, the gray zone is emotional anesthesia. No drama, no tension, no spark, just comfortable silence. You're still in her life. She'll answer your calls, laugh at your jokes, maybe even hang out with you. But there's a subtle hollowness now. Her eyes don't light up when she sees you. The conversations are pleasant but predictable. She's polite, but she's no longer invested. This is the gray zone, the most dangerous stage in any romantic connection, because unlike rejection, it doesn't hurt enough to wake you up. It lulls you into a false sense of security. You think, we're still talking, so everything's fine. But what's really happening is that attraction is bleeding out quietly, drip by drip, while you stand there smiling. Here's the truth. Comfort kills desire when it becomes the only thing you offer. Attraction is built on contrast. The highs and lows, the chase and the reward, the unpredictability that keeps the mind alert. The gray zone removes all of that. You've become familiar, safe. And in her mind, safe often translates to forgettable. This is where most men make their fatal error. They try to win her back by doubling down on comfort. They become more available, more agreeable, more like a best friend. And without realizing it, they walk themselves into the role of her emotional safety net, the nice guy who will always be there, but never be chosen. The antidote? A technique I call the friend flip, psychological judo. Instead of chasing her attention, you subtly place her in the category she's been putting you in. But on your terms. You start treating her like she's the friend. Light teasing instead of heavy flirting. Casual check-ins instead of constant pursuit. You don't withdraw completely, you just remove the energy of a man trying to impress her. This creates cognitive dissonance. She thought she had you in the palm of her hand. Now, suddenly she's not so sure. You're acting as if you decided she's just a friend. And here's the kicker. When a woman senses she's slipping out of your romantic frame, her competitive instincts awaken. She starts looking for cracks in your friend act, little ways to prove she still matters to you. That's when the spark can reignite. Not because you begged for it, but because she's chasing it. You flip the script, and now she's the one trying to climb back into your attention. The gray zone isn't a place to linger. It's a battlefield. If you wait too long, you'll fade into the background noise of her life. But if you execute the friend flip with timing and discipline, you can turn that fading ember into a controlled fire. And once she realizes she might be the one losing you, the game changes completely. The black zone effect. There's a point in every failing relationship when attraction isn't just fading, it's gone. This is the black zone, the stage where she's no longer weighing whether she wants you. She's already decided she doesn't. The only reason she hasn't said it yet is because she's tying up emotional loose ends, or lining up her next move. The signs are unmistakable if you're paying attention. Her texts become pure logistics. No emojis, no curiosity, no warmth. Her laugh is shorter, her eyes wander when you talk, her phone becomes more interesting than your presence. Even physical contact feels mechanical, like she's fulfilling a duty rather than enjoying the connection. And when you bring up the future, she dodges or changes the subject. Most men respond to the black zone with one instinct: chase harder. They sense her slipping away and think, if I just prove my love, she'll remember what we had. But in the black zone, chasing is suicide. Every extra call, every last-minute plan, every "please talk to me" text only reinforces her belief that she's above you. You're confirming her decision to leave by showing her she's your only option. The only way to salvage your dignity, and sometimes even the connection, is with a bold, almost counterintuitive move. End it first. Yes, before she says the words you're dreading, you say them yourself, calmly, without drama. You look her in the eye and tell her you think it's best to part ways. This isn't about punishment, it's about reclaiming the frame. Right now, she's writing the ending to the story. By stepping in first, you flip the power dynamic in one decisive stroke. And here's what happens next, almost like clockwork. Surprise. She didn't expect you to act, she thought she'd control the timeline. Confusion. If you're the one walking away, does that mean she misjudged your attachment? Panic. This is the moment her brain replays every reason she was with you in the first place. It's the scarcity effect. We only realize the value of what's leaving when it's actually leaving. Even if she doesn't chase you back immediately, this move restores your dignity and self-respect. It signals you're a man who knows his worth and refuses to be someone's safety net. Sometimes, the black zone is the end. And that's fine. Not every story deserves a sequel. But sometimes, your unexpected exit forces her to reevaluate, to see you not as the man she grew bored of, but as the man she underestimated. Either way, you walk away with your power intact. And in the game of love and respect, that's the only ending that truly matters. The final shift. If you take only one thing from everything we've talked about, let it be this: absence makes her idealize you. It sounds almost cruel, but it's how the human mind works. When something, or someone, is gone, our brain doesn't replay the boring moments or the little annoyances. It replays the highs. It edits out the flaws and magnifies the good. In other words, distance rewrites history in your favor. That's why the man who disappears with dignity is remembered far more fondly than the man who stays and begs. In her memory, he's the one who got away, not the one who overstayed. She'll never tell her friends about the guy she had to push away again and again, but she will talk about the one who left before she could fully figure him out. This is the difference between being the man she rejects and the man she lost. The man she rejects is the one she's certain about, the one she's tested, found predictable, and placed neatly in the safe but boring category. He's the man whose attention she can summon with a text at 2 a.m. and whose presence is guaranteed no matter how she treats him. There's no tension, no mystery, no scarcity, and therefore no real desire. But the man she loses? That's a different story. He's the man who never allowed himself to be diminished. The man who knew his value so deeply that when the energy shifted, he stepped back instead of clinging on. He's the man she has to wonder about. Where did he go? Who is he with? Did I misjudge him? Those unanswered questions become the hooks in her mind, pulling her thoughts back to him long after he's gone. And here's the brutal truth. Real power is never begged for. It's shown. You can't talk someone into respecting you. You demonstrate it by how you live, what you tolerate, and how quickly you walk away when your worth isn't recognized. The men who win in the long run don't fight for every woman to stay. They protect their dignity like it's oxygen. They keep their frame no matter how emotional the situation becomes. And most importantly, they never let fear make their decisions. Fear of losing her is the fastest way to lose yourself. And once you lose yourself, it's only a matter of time before she follows. So if you feel her slipping away, don't panic. Don't overcompensate. Don't let the urge to save it push you into weakness. Instead, step into your silence. Step into your space. Let her feel the weight of your absence, because in that silence, she will either return stronger or remove herself completely. Either way, you win. Because you didn't break your frame, you didn't lose your self-respect, and you didn't play the game from a place of fear. The final call to every man: protect your dignity, keep your frame, and never ever let fear dictate your moves. In the end, it's not about whether she stays, it's about whether you stayed true to yourself. And that's a victory no one can take away from you.